Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're taking a breather. We're stepping away from those massive Mortal Realm boss encounters, we're skipping the heavy crafting grinds, and we are looking at something, well, completely different. The Frog Collection. I'm your host. I've got my Slippery Fingers achievement already unlocked, and I'm joined by my co-host who's looking to finally get their feet wet.
Yeah, literally. I keep seeing these frogs hopping around the wetlands, and I'm always hearing people at the bank talking about Frogsworth this and Frogsworth that. But looking at my playtime, I'm just trying to figure out what this whole thing actually is.
So let's just cut to the chase here. Is this just another massive MMO grind? Like, should I be blocking out my entire weekend to go clear out some swamps? Oh man, no, absolutely not. And honestly, that's exactly why I wanted to do this explainer. This system is deliberately small stakes. It's meant to be a footnote system, in the best possible sense. It's present, it's discoverable, but it is completely optional. Think of it as a really lighthearted long arc collection. Picture this. You're out in a beautiful sunny wetland, you're running errands, maybe gathering some wood, whatever, and you just happen to engage with it. It's totally chill.
What's really interesting here is the actual scope of it. There are exactly 60 unique canonical base frogs spread out across both Trammel and Felucca.
Okay, 60. So let me guess. Can I just find one really good swamp, recall in, and farm that exact same frog 60 times?
Nope, nice try, but the system doesn't work like that. Each of those 60 unique frogs, you can only catch them exactly once per character. The moment you catch a specific frog, boom, it gets logged in your personal frog index. If you encounter that exact same frog again later on, the game knows you've already got it. So no double payouts, no progress resets. You've got to actively go out and find all 60 individual types.
All right, fair enough. So how does the actual catching work then? Do I need to go craft some crazy high-level net or buy a super specific taming tool? Not at all. It's incredibly straightforward. Step 1, you find a frog. They spawn in environments that naturally fit their type, so we're talking swamps, ponds, riverbanks. Step 2, you catch it. And that's just an in-game discoverable interaction. You don't need any special tools, though, it's not totally passive either. You got to do a little work. Then, step 3, you get your payout. That's going to be a standard token reward plus exactly 1 frog coin.
Okay, wait, hold up. Let's talk about that payout for a second. If I'm out there risking my neck in the Felucca swamps, does it actually pay out better than just strolling safely through Trammel? Well, the crucial thing to understand here is how the token currency split. If you get a catch in Trammel, that gives you 10 time tokens. Safe, easy, 0 PvP exposure. But a Felucca catch, that gives you 3 PvP tokens. You're taking on that open PvP risk to get access to the PvP side reward catalog. But notice the constant here. You always get exactly 1 frog coin. That coin payout does not change no matter what facet you're on. And since some frogs only spawn on one facet, completing the full 60 usually means you're going to be visiting both anyway.
Got it. Okay, so I'm stacking up these frog coins. Look, I've got a lot of gold sitting around. Can I just hop over to Luna or hit up the trade forums and buy frog coins from players who've already done the grinding? Absolutely not. I'm shutting that down right now. Frog coins are completely account bound. They are not an item you can just toss in your backpack, and they are absolutely not player tradable. You can't gift them, you can't sell them, no way. They exist strictly as a per account tally. It follows the exact same pattern as every other parallel collection currency on the shard. Like bells from King Whiskers, Marks of Trust, or Herbarium script. The player who puts in the actual time gets the coins. Everyone earns their own.
And honestly, you'll want to get at least a few of those catches under your belt pretty early on, just to unlock the actual vendor. Catching your first 10 base frogs is the magic number here. Doing that proves to the game that you are actively participating in the collection, and boom, that unlocks Frogsworth.
Frogsworth. Okay, so at 10 frogs, this guy finally opens his shop up to me. What exactly is he selling that I'd even want?
Right, so Frogsworth offers 3 main things for your hard-earned frog coins. First up, codex pages. These are actual entries for your frog index that give you real, specific location hints for frogs you haven't caught yet. Super helpful. Second, a frog companion. It's just a fun, cosmetic follower pet. It has absolutely no combat utility, but it's cute. And third, you can get themed cosmetics and clothing.
So if I'm just trying to power through and finish the collection, the cosmetics are basically just flavor, right?
Exactly. If you get stuck trying to find those last few tricky frogs, those codex pages are absolutely the most useful thing you can spend your coins on.
And really, catching all 60 is the primary goal we're talking about here. When you hit that 60th canonical base frog, you trigger the Slippery Fingers achievement. Nice! A real achievement. Does that actually give you anything besides just bragging rights at the bank? Oh, for sure it does. It pays out the standard token reward you'd expect for an achievement.
It adds a permanent entry to your character's public achievement record, and importantly, it unlocks post-completion content at Frogsworth's shop and a few adjacent NPCs.
Wait, hold on. Post-completion? I thought you literally just said the cap was 60. Is 60 not the actual end? Okay, so 60 is the end of the canonical questline. But for the really serious collectors out there who just want to keep going, there are an additional 5 rare frogs and 2 secret frogs. The rares just take some serious persistence to find, but those 2 secrets, they are deliberately obscure. Finding all of them brings your true total to 67, and they pay out bonus and pretty massive coin payouts. But again, just to be clear, this is completely optional. You do not need them to get slippery fingers.
All right, so knowing all this, what's the actual strategy here? If I want to knock out the 60, should I just pull up my frog index, grab a bunch of rune books, and grind out a focused approach over a weekend?
I mean, you certainly can do that. The guide estimates a focused grind takes somewhere between 15 to 25 hours of active hunting, and you'd be heavily relying on buying those codex pages to close out the last 10 or so. But honestly, I am actively recommending against doing that. The guide itself actively anti-pitches that method. It's simply the less fun path. The casual approach is the way this was actually designed to be played. Think months of incidental catches, just letting it happen over weeks of normal play as you're just moving around the shard doing your usual thing.
And this perfectly gets at why this system even exists in the first place. Immortal Realm's design instinct here is that not all content needs to be this massive heroic endeavor.
Yeah, I honestly like that. I play a crafter mostly, and sometimes I really just want a long arc goal that doesn't force me to invest in some massive, complex combat template.
Hit the nail on the head. Exactly. It's a deliberately small stakes system. It gives crafters and casual players something fun to do. It gives active players a little splash of color during their normal travel, and it gives you a reason to actually visit specific swamps and riverbanks that wouldn't otherwise see any traffic at all. It supplements your main token currencies without replacing them. It's just a nice addition.
All right, well, I'm sold. I'm definitely not going to stress over it, but I'll for sure stop ignoring them when I see them jumping around out there. Awesome, and that is exactly the takeaway you should have from this explainer. If you want to engage with the frog collection, here is my one highly actionable piece of advice for you. Do not dedicate a session to it. Next time you pass through a swamp or a pond on your way to do something else entirely, just look around. Keep an eye out. Catch what's there. Have you been walking past a fortune in frog coins this whole time without even realizing it? Keep that in mind on your next supply run. Thanks for joining us for this look at Immortal Realm's lighter side, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.